Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. A shocking and tragic turn of events last night during Monday Night Football as the Buffalo Bills played the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. Late in the first quarter, Bills safety Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field after tackling Bengals receiver T. Higgins. He got up briefly after making what looked like a fairly routine football play. Then he suddenly collapsed, suffering from an apparent cardiac arrest. The game was canceled. Hamlin now in critical condition at a local hospital in Cincinnati. Joining us for more on this, ESPN commentator Patrick McEnroe. Patrick, it is great to have you on this morning. The NFLPA put out a statement last night. They said, quote, "The only thing that matters at this moment is Damar Hamlin's health and well-being." What did you make of this as you saw this last night, and just the looks on the faces of his teammates, coaches, fans in a stadium that was sold out because of the importance of the game last night? Agony, concern. This was really tragic to watch.
Well, Rob, good morning, first of all, and Happy New Year. This, unfortunately, is not a happy day for Damar Hamlin, and obviously our thoughts and prayers go out to him, number one, and his family. They took his mom out of the crowd, Rob, she was there watching the game, to be in the ambulance and go to the hospital with him. So this is really unprecedented that something like this could stop a game the way it did in its tracks last night. I mean, we've seen brutal hits in football. I mean, we all love football. We all love to watch the college games this weekend. The NFL takes over our weekends throughout this time of year every year. But unfortunately, as I said last night in one of my tweets, it's sort of expected, at least I expected, unfortunately, something like this to happen, Rob, because the game is so violent. It's so brutal. The hits that these men take are just incredible. And that's part of the reason why so many of us love to watch it. But this was devastating to have to watch it play out on live television, to see the reaction of the players. I think it was the coaches actually that made the decision, Rob, shortly after the hit happened, to stop the game, because what I'm hearing from my sources is that the NFL actually wanted to continue with the game. So we'll find out exactly what happened when the dust settles. But at the moment, this is all about Damar, this young 24-year-old, a sixth-round pick from the University of Pittsburgh, who was living out his dream, playing in the NFL, playing on a big-time team, as you said, the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals, arguably two of the best teams in the NFL right now. But all that made absolutely no difference last night. And you could even feel, not even being there, just watching on television, Rob, you could feel the sense of the people in the crowd as well. Like, wow, this wasn't just a hit where someone got knocked out and they get back up. This was a life-threatening situation.
All right, I want to bring in Dr. Maria Ryan for her take on what we're looking at here medically, what Damar Hamlin is facing. Doctor, great to have you on. It's Rob Finnerty and ESPN commentator Patrick McEnroe. We don't have a lot on his actual condition. Damar Hamlin, 24 years old, healthy football player, star player. Last night, there were no signs that anything was wrong with his health. Can you take us through what you think may have happened here?
Yes, there's a couple of scenarios, and we call them differential diagnosis. He definitely had what we call either sudden death or acute cardiac arrest. Why that happens? There's a couple of reasons. One, a myocardial infarction, which we've already ruled out. That's in layman's terms, a heart attack. Another one is just an acute onset of a lethal arrhythmia. Sometimes we can feel our heart skip a beat, or you hear about people with atrial fibrillation. None of those are lethal. The ones from the ventricular fibrillation, is lethal, and you need to shock them, defibrillate them immediately, even before CPR. And the other one is called commotio cordis. And that's when during sports, you get hit to the chest at the right area at the right time. I don't want to be too technical, but it's R on T phenomenon. It's something our electrical conduction of our heart does. And if that happens, it disrupts the normal electrical flow of the heart that causes heartbeats. And you go into this lethal arrhythmia, ventricular fibrillation. And you saw right when he went down, basically he was dead. He didn't have a pulse. He wasn't breathing.
Yeah.
People went through his aid. I was yelling at the TV because I kept hearing the announcer saying CPR, and I'm screaming, "Get a defibrillator! Get a defibrillator!"
Yeah, they
Defibrillators
did.
They
Doctor,
did.
the medical crews did an unbelievable job on the field.
Yes, they did.
It took about 9 minutes. They gave him oxygen. The injury happened at 8:55 p.m. He was in the ambulance at 9:25, so about 30 minutes from this tragedy taking place. Patrick, the doctor just brought up some of the coverage last night on ESPN. We've got about 30 minutes left. I think they did a fantastic job trying to keep viewers informed. Patrick, some of these folks over at ESPN, these are some of your colleagues over there. Can you just talk about the sort of how difficult that is to try and continue to broadcast when something like this is playing out?
Well, we're always taught, Rob, when we go in to cover a big event, I've covered a lot of Wimbledons and U.S. Opens and so on, that you could go at the drop of a hat into being, a sports commentator, into being a news anchor, like what you do, Rob, every day on the air. So you have to be prepared for that. I thought the team did an excellent job. I mean, it's a brutal situation to be in. Obviously you're thinking about the player, you're thinking about his family, but you are live on television. So you have to continue to do your job and you have to report what's happening. So that's something that we're always, unfortunately, have to be prepared for.
Yeah.
Of course, you see people taking shots at ESPN on social media. That's normal. I personally thought.
No, I think, and look, I've taken shots.
Job.
Yeah, I've taken shots at ESPN for other reasons, but I thought their coverage was very strong last night. I mean, Adam Schefter was looking at his phone during the broadcast, trying to keep people apprised of Damar Hamlin's condition. He's in critical condition right now at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. We'll leave it there. Patrick McEnroe, Dr. Maria Ryan, we appreciate you being with us this morning and keeping us informed. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
All right.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the
truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.